Today we're making one of my favorite dishes. It's a sausage and red lentil soup. I've been making this soup for about a decade now, and it's probably the most popular recipe on my blog. So I hope you'll enjoy it. Now I love this soup because in Chinese medicine, it helps to build the qi, which is your energy. It helps to build the blood. It helps to build yin, which is that restorative energy that we really need to counteract the go-go-go lifestyle that so many of us have. And it lastly, through the lentils, helps to get rid of a little bit of dampness by drying it up. Now dampness, its symptoms are things like excess weight, foggy thinking, sluggishness, and extra congestion. And so this soup will help to dry all of that up and give you that energy boost. I've already started by chopping up some onions and carrots. These are rainbow carrots, so they're extra pretty, and some celery. So about half of an onion and 6 to 8 baby carrots, or you can use a couple of regular sized carrots, and about 2 to 3 stalks of celery. Next, I'm going to take 2 cloves of garlic, and I'm going to either mince them, or I can use this fancy little garlic press kind of plate here and shred it. So we're going to take about a tablespoon of olive oil and place it into the pan. And then we're going to take our onions and the carrots. And then we're going to take the celery and we're going to turn on the heat to about a medium heat or so. And we're going to stir everything around. And we're going to add a little bit of salt and a little bit of pepper and continue to stir. We want to make sure that the onions start to become a little bit translucent. All right, we're going to take the garlic and add that in because it's been a couple minutes. We're going to let that get nice and fragrant. All right, so we're going to take these sausages and we're going to put them in the pot. Now that the sausage is added, we're going to go ahead and break it up as best we can, having nice chunks of meat throughout the soup that makes it nice and hearty. So you want the chunks to be kind of on the slightly bigger side. I like it nice and chunky because it's great when I'm scooping up my soup and I have a nice bit of sausage there. It's really nice and comforting. In this case, I've added 3 sausages, and you can do 2 if you don't want to do quite that many. I'm just continuing to break them up as they cook, and then we're mixing everything together. It'll take about 5 minutes or so for the sausage to cook through a little bit more, and that also flavors all of the onions and the celery and the carrots, and it gets everything nice and blended together. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to cut the potatoes. So I've got 5 to 6 small potatoes or medium-sized potatoes, and we're just going to cut them into smaller chunks. Here I'm using gold potatoes, but you can also use red potatoes or really any potato that you've got. I have made this soup with every kind of potato, including sweet potatoes, and it still tastes amazing with all of them. So don't get too hung up on it. So you want the pieces to be, pretty small, but still kind of chunky. The smaller you cut them, the faster they're going to cook. And it's okay if some of them are a little smaller than others. Not a big deal. This is kind of a nice rustic soup, so you want it to look homemade. All right, so now that we've got all of our potatoes cut, we're going to go ahead and add them to the pot. And then we're going to stir everything together. So by adding the potatoes in right after we've cooked the sausage down some, it takes that sausage fat and just kind of cooks it and gets all that flavor into the potatoes. So we want to cook these for a couple minutes and let those flavors meld together. And then we're going to go ahead and add our liquids. Okay, next we're going to add 4 cups of beef broth. So we make sure to scrape everything down from the sides and stir it around. So if there's any brown bits, you want to make sure to scrape those off of the bottom. And next we're going to add the tomato sauce. So it's going to be 1 15-ounce can of tomato sauce. And then after this, we're going to fill this can with the same amount of water, so 14 to 15 ounces of water, and that will add a little bit more volume to our soup. And we're gonna go ahead and stir this all together, and it starts becoming this beautiful red color. Okay, we've put the lid on, and you want it to be just a little bit cracked so some of the steam and everything can escape. But by covering it, we want to keep a good amount of the liquids in the soup. It's going to cook for about 10 minutes, and then we're going to add the lentils in. So you want to just stir it every now and then to make sure that nothing is sticking to the bottom, but otherwise we just let it go and set a timer. All right, so now that the soup has been cooking for about 10 minutes or so, we're going to add the lentils. So these are red lentils, and you want to rinse them off until the water runs clear. So we're going to go ahead and add those to the soup now. So we're going to take the lid off and go ahead and add the lentils in. And they can stick together a little bit, so you want to make sure that you stir frequently. Otherwise, they're going to get stuck to the bottom of the pot. So every couple minutes, you're going to want to take the lid off and stir and make sure you scrape the bottom and get any of the lentils off that have stuck. Let it cook for about 20 minutes or so until the lentils begin to be completely soft, and sometimes they even just meld into the soup. All right, so now the soup has been cooking for about 15 to 20 minutes, and the potatoes are just tender. We're going to add our baby spinach. This is about 2 ounces, or about 1/3 of a bag of organic baby spinach. And we're gonna go ahead and add that to the soup now and cook until it just wilts. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and add all the baby spinach in and then give it a quick stir. And again, it will start to wilt almost immediately. So we only cook this for a couple more minutes, and then we're ready to plate. All right, time to taste it. It really is my absolute favorite soup. It's nice and chunky and meaty, and the tomato gives it such a lovely depth of flavor. And I love that the greens are in there too. It keeps it nice and bright. I hope you'll enjoy this, and thanks so much for watching.